Well, greetings, everybody, and ho, ho, ho. Happy holidays from your friends at the Indykast. I'm Chad Allen.
I'm Zach Romero.
And for those of you that don't know us, we host the Indykast, possibly the most consistently awesome independent professional wrestling pop culture with a little splash of craft sprinkled on top podcast that you can find. And we'll tell you more where you can find us in a little bit.
We undercut that crass part of quite a bit. We are pretty nasty.
Yeah,
but
and we have our moments.
But nevertheless, it's the holiday season.
Much like Ralphie, we should have soap in our mouth for a lot of our shows.
True. So, yes, it's the holiday season here in pro wrestling podcast land. We're all claymation this month. It's very uncomfortable.
It's all a big Rankin and Bass.
Exactly. I'm the Charlie in the box. Anyway, so we want to take a moment here to wish you all well and talk about what we hope wrestling Santa brings us in the new year. So Chadley, you go first. What do you want Wrestling Santa to come bring you?
I would like Wrestling Santa to bring all the good little boys and girls out in the wrestling world, all the fans. I am hoping that for both the mainstream fan who like, obviously WWE and the big companies, or even the fans that like New Japan or Ring of Honor, or fans like us who obviously follow the independent scene because that's what our show is based on. I hope Santa brings us a little bit more humor, a little bit more fun, and just a moment to sit back and remind ourselves why we started liking this performance art in the first place. Because I think sometimes we take it a little too goddamn seriously.
That's fair.
That's just me.
That's fair.
How about you? What's your Wrestling Santa
Let's see. What do I want Wrestling Santa to bring me? I would love a new replica belt, so that I can bring it to shows and make everyone uncomfortable.
Somebody put up online recently that fans that bring belts to shows
have to defend it. I agree with that. No replica belts. I'm good. I would say, what do I want Wrestling Santa to bring me? I want Wrestling Santa to bring me more interesting female pop vinyl figures, so that I can keep repainting them into Sue Young. That's what I need, fully gimmicked. I need more interesting characters. I can't keep using the same body over and over again. I'd like some variety there if possible.
Let's mix it up a little bit.
A little bit, if we can. So we are one half of the Ghost Hosts with the Most, who host the Indykast. Our wives are the other half, so we're not only the most consistently awesome, but we're also one of the most diverse wrestling podcasts out there.
And you can find us on our main home is on SoundCloud, soundcloud.com/WNRN, which is short for Wrestling Nerds Radio Network. You can also hear our friends from Team HAMMA Fist and their Power Hour on that.
Those wonderful Gentile boys.
That's right. But you can also find us on iTunes, Spotify, YouTube. Yep. You can find us on pretty much any place that you hear podcasts. You can find us, and probably a bunch of our friends that are on this episode with us here. And I hope you will take the time to do that. I hope you all have a wonderful holiday. A joyous Kwanzaa, if you celebrate that.
Excellent.
A happy Hanukkah, if you celebrate that. Mm-hmm. And, of course, a Festivus for the rest of us.
Excellent. So, without further ado, as we always say, Happy birthday! Fuck you, Frosty.
I love Frosty. I don't care. And until the next people come on here.
Deuces.
Hey, everyone. It's the American Dadass Jesse Long from Team HAMMA Fist. What do I want from Wrestling Santa this year? Well, I, being a man of simple pleasures, require only 3 things. First, what I want is for the Universal title to violently die and be cast into sports hell. Secondly, I'd like to see Effie win as many belts as he damn well pleases. And finally, I'd like for the Internet Championship to be defended as many times as physically possible. You can find Team HAMMA Fist podcast, The Power Hour, along with our good pals, the Indykast, on the Wrestling Nerds Radio Network, which can be found on iTunes, Spotify, and just about any other podcatcher you can think of. Thanks for not hitting the advance forward button, and happy holidays, everybody. Oh, and Rick told me to tell you that he asked the ghost of Barry Horowitz to bring him Jamie Senegal.
Yeah. All right. We are from Wrestling Cheers. I am Heavy Set, and I'm joined by Dustin Alberti.
Hi, guys.
All right, we have our question of, everybody here on this episode has the same question of what we want from Santa for Wrestling Christmas. Well, we are a podcast, Wrestling Cheers, that's based out of Northeast Ohio. So since we normally cover a lot of AIW, we're going to actually have 2. We're going to have one of what we want from Santa for AIW, and then something we want from WWE. I'll go first for AIW. I'm a huge fan of them, and I really want AIW to book Marco Stunt in 2019.
And for Wrestling Christmas from Santa for AIW, I would really like AIW to have continued success, and I'd really like them to find a new venue, preferably the venue that they're using in December, so that it continues to just be like 5 minutes from my house.
That would be very good for you. I want them to at least find when it comes to that part, just find better places to go and come to Akron more, because that is something that I loved.
Fair.
All right, and for WWE, I'll let you go first on what you want from Santa from WWE.
From Santa for WWE, and I guess just mainstream wrestling in general, I'd like everyone to just stop complaining and just enjoy wrestling for what it is. I don't think we have to worry about Vince is ruining the business. Triple H is going to just take over, make things horrible. It doesn't matter, guys. It's wrestling. We're going to enjoy it no matter what.
And then for me, which it's another kind of a homerish thing to do, but from Santa, I want Johnny Gargano to have a successful 2019. I do want him to debut on either Raw or SmackDown and just see the same silent kind of success he had on NXT, and then put it on one of the other two shows, and then let everybody know how great Johnny Gargano is. He can kill it. Maybe if he gets on like SmackDown, has a great feud with like Daniel Bryan or something. There's a lot of potential to be tapped there.
Amen. What a mensch. Wishing Johnny Gargano has a great 2019 is like wishing for a white Christmas.
All right, so you know a little bit more about us. We are Wrestling Cheers. And, you know, like I kind of mentioned that, you know, we cover a lot of shows in the Northeast Ohio independent wrestling scene. A lot of them are mostly AIW. You know, we preview shows, we review shows, and sometimes we even have interviews along the way. We can be found on Apple Podcasts, Google Podcasts, Stitcher, TuneIn, YouTube, Spotify, iHeartRadio, and Podbean, WrestlingCheers.podbean.com. If you want to find us on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram, Facebook.com/WrestlingCheers, Twitter.com/WrestlingCheers, and Instagram.com/WrestlingCheers. Email, if you so choose to desire, WrestlingCheers@gmail.com. And we do have the merch store over at whatamaneuver.net. And, Dustin, where can everybody find you?
You can find me at Rev Tintin on all platforms. Very easy to find me. And yeah, like I said, the Wrestling Cheers, like Justin said, Wrestling Cheers. I'm one of the longest tenured people. That's why I'm here.
And of course, you can find myself at Heavyset330 on Facebook, Twitter, and Instagram. We do have a lot more people that are a part of our show. It's kind of a revolving door, a revolving roundtable, mainly with me, because I'm the one who edits and everything, but we have a lot of great people, such as Caden, Pam, Ed, the other Ed, the Thrift Store Jobber, Stacy, Ronald, and I think the only one I missed was Rick. So, yeah, we would like to wish everybody out there a Merry Christmas, Happy Kwanzaa, Happy Festivus, Happy Holidays, Happy Hanukkah. Well, I said Hanukkah. Happy Kwanzaa, if that's what you celebrate. And, hey, well,
Merry Christmas, Hanukkah, Kwanzaa.
Yes. And, we will hopefully catch you on Wrestling Cheers, where everybody knows your name, even this time of year. Later.